there a scientific basis for the concept of free will in human beings? And if not, is there a biological evolutionary reason why all of us believe we have free will?
The late Christopher Hitchens, when asked, does he believe in free will, replied, I have no choice.
Well, that sums it up. What's up, guys? It's OT episode 77. I'm here with my guys Lighthouse, Simo, and Remy, please. Welcome back to OT, where we talk about any and everything. Before we jump into the free will thing, I did want to touch on some current events. Elon Musk is in the news. He is attempting, he has not yet, but he's attempting to buy Twitter for a little over $40 billion. I wanted to get you guys' initial thoughts, initial takes. What do you think that this means? And enlighten me, because I haven't read too much into it, but what is his reasoning for actually wanting to do this? That's a rack of bread too. God damn.
I just off just the random, just what it sounds like. I think Twitter is very powerful. I think kind of like the pulse of society is kind of expressed through Twitter. So I feel like if Elon Musk is trying to buy that, then I definitely think he's trying to put his hands on the control the culture pretty much. Because when you think about it, the whole concept of cancel culture, that's through Twitter. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these hives and all that other type of stuff, that's all through Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny. It's like if you want to create what's it called? You want to create like an army. You know what I'm saying? You want to create a group of people working towards a common goal. You know what I'm saying? You could probably find that in Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So so I think that's probably the reason why. It definitely sounds like some controlled narrative type shit. That's what I think.
Right. It's definitely like pitchfork culture on Twitter.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Couldn't
have said it no better. Couldn't have said it no better. Couldn't have said it no better.
So you think that he wants to control the narrative, because it seems like he's painting it a picture as like, oh well, like I want to get it back to the point where people can express themselves and stuff like that. Like, people shouldn't be criticized for how they want to express themselves. But at the same time, you're on a social media platform. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that part about all the. He said he actually trying to make it more free. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like he's always had a problem with Twitter and like the higher ups. What's the guy named Jack Dorsey? Like he had bought like stakes in it like recently. I think like 10%. So he's trying to muscle his way in. But I think it always starts like that. You always got like even like these fake ass politicians always preach change and all that shit to begin with. But in the end, he said he wants to make it a private company. So if you're making a private company.
That should go to show you that then that should go to show anybody that goddamn, if a nigga is willing to buy a company like Twitter for 40 something billion just so that he can give its
it's not no hobby,
the freedom of speech, that should go to show you how powerful of a tool Twitter actually really fucking is.
Exactly.
43 billion, my nigga. That's war money. In this war numbers.
If you really think about it, everything that is kind of like the standard in society now, kind of, if you really think about it, came through Twitter. Just our overall perspectives. It like kind of starts there, and then it evolves into like law. It evolves into oh, you can't say that, you can't do that. That's offensive. You know what I'm saying? All that shit start right there. So of course, so I just let you know how powerful of a tool it is, because free flowing conversation you would have had 10 years ago, you got to like damn near think about everything you about to say before you say it, because you don't know who you could offend. And a lot of times the sources of all this, offended, culture comes from Twitter. So yeah, powerful tool, bro. Like, that shit brainwashes society. Like even the people not on Twitter kind of got to bend to that shit because they see how everybody else act around.
That's true.
You know, so
do you
Simo, what you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
I ain't sure yet. When I seen it, I was just like, oh damn, this he putting up all this money for. I had to check his. I wanted to see like I wanted to check what his net worth was. It's like 265 billion. So 40 is a substantial number. That's a substantial number. So it's definitely
that's a quarter.
Like you said, it's definitely not going to be a hobby. So I want to know where what direction Twitter will be moving in. Did you know that they had like a pay subscription accounts or whatever? I don't know. You can
to like avoid like advertisements and shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, I'm definitely pretty sure he's gonna make it.
Wait, Twitter has it? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna make it more lucrative if he trying to put 40 on it.
So do you think that ultimately at the end of the day, Elon Musk is trying to do good, or is he just trying to gain power?
All that money definitely seemed like a power move.
Yeah, 43 billion. That's yeah. 43 billion. That's not like that's not casual bread right there.
Nah, not at all. God damn.
He said his plans to bring free speech around the globe.
Around the globe.
Yeah. Globe. Keyword.
Exactly.
And this is the same person that has government contracts to leave the globe. Quotation marks. And he got that whole Starlink shit. He got like a bunch of fucking satellites in orbit, like as like damn near surveillance for real on the people. So
does anybody know how like I understand Facebook, but does anybody know how like Twitter kind of ties into like the metaverse type shit? Maybe he's trying to get in on that. Yeah, get in on that aspect. I mean, because I'm pretty sure he won't gonna be able to buy Facebook.
Maybe it's data. Maybe he's purchasing it for data.
Ooh,
that's a yeah.
Maybe can you imagine
that data? Yeah.
Man, like Twitter, can you imagine okay, I now own the Twitter servers. I'll go ahead. His first thing. All right, let me see all the data analytics and all of this based off of X, Y, and Z. Like you can do so much with that. You know what I'm Twitter? People voicing their political opinions, their religion opinions, their all sorts of things. You can create an algorithm that could, if you have plans to do something such as the metaverse, that's a good first day on the job, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a step in the right direction if that's something you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And I could see like a little simple move off break if you were to purchase it, like have like some type of Twitter app installed on all his cars and shit, so people can post on the move while driving or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So just some little slight shit.
He kind of seems like the leading candidate if there was like a one world government and they needed a president.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because he said he's trying to take it global. So
right,
that sounds like some one world, new world order, one world government, one world currency, one world.
Because he's all in the Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all that shit. So like, and it says right here, just days earlier, he publicly trashed the company, which he called the de facto public town square, saying that failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy.
Yeah, he might be saying that, but he might just do that just to get some sort of public support. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mean that's what his intentions are. I think still, to a lot of people, they can pretty much see what that shit is. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like somebody like him, he got to play on the people who know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I would think it would be hard pressed to think that he don't know what he ain't involved in the same circles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Like people, because I think a lot of times these people play hero, but these niggas be like play hero in front of us, and then they go have crumpets and tea and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? So,
It could also just be like a major flex. You know, he was trashing the company, you know, and then so let me just buy this joint and make it a better. Let me show y'all how to run your company or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
$40 billion
Yeah.
flex.
Are you gonna see
Yeah.
return on the money for that?
Of course.
On Twitter?
Yeah, you ain't gonna just put 40 billion in and not
But
expect
that's
to
not
get.
even selling the product.
he might make it, but he might make it better. But he gonna make it better to probably take your information. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like
I don't
damn, this
think
shit
that's
is
like a
so
money.
easy.
I don't think
You
that's
know
a
what I'm
money
saying?
making move.
I don't know. I mean, they got to pay for accounts. I'm sure you got to pay for advertising on there. I'm sure he's gonna have to come up with another way to make money. I don't think it's just
Right.
gonna be
You can't
like
make $41 billion back off advertisements. I'm sorry. Like,
well.
What if it's like kind of like Simo said? Like, what if this is more like, okay, what if his thinking possibly, okay, if I can purchase Twitter and I can get people back into the mode of saying whatever they want without any consequences because you're free. Like, what if that's just trying like that? What if this is just getting people back into the training before they enter the metaverse where you can do exactly just that? There is no ramifications. You can say and do whatever you want. And this is, you know what I'm saying? It, like,
So you
this
saying
is
to like lead it, like you basically saying he's doing this to lead people into the metaverse.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That dude, I mean, I can see that. That could make sense because why would you want to go to the metaverse and it's all restrictive immediately and it's a fake world? You at least want to feel like you living and with some sort of free will. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Escape this shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, possibly.
So I can see that. That's a good point. I can see that.
so you said free will.
That was definitely a transition. Go ahead. I was waiting for somebody to oop that joint. Ain't nobody say
Speaking of free will, something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, is just that free will. Do we have it? What is it? And is it an illusion? Is it something that was created by God to so that we can make decisions to come back to him? Or I don't know. What do you guys think? Because it seems to, I've been thinking about it and it just nothing really seems to add up. And I'm not saying, I am a God-fearing man. I believe in God, but that doesn't mean that some of my questions, what I'm saying, beg some answers. Like that it doesn't make sense. Like, can you guys explain to me what you think free will is?
I mean, what do you think as far as like, you saying like what's not connecting the dots and like as far as like what makes you think that free will is not a thing?
For one, I ain't asked to be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm serious.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just because it's saying, okay, if free will is what it is, so let's just take it from its basis form. You say that, okay, I have the power to do whatever it is and make whatever decisions that I want, right? If I want to go left, I go left. If I want to go right, I want to go right. But we know that we live in our universe is based upon laws, right? Mm-hmm. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You can't have free will and then live by laws because those laws govern your decisions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying.
That doesn't make any sense to me because and then you got to look at it from the perspective of, okay, if I'm born, which I didn't ask to be, now I'm born into free will. And so you're telling me either I live my life and go to heaven or I live my life and like go to hell. And it's just like two extremes. And it's like, okay, I have to pick and choose, either go left or go right.
I mean,
but I don't have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean, cut you off, but because I get your point. I think what you're basically saying is like, how do we have free will if we have a God? You know what I'm saying? It's like God kind of creates the universe. He creates the laws of the universe. So it's like if we live within God's law, how can we have free will? That's what it sounds like you're saying, right?
Exactly.
But I think the purpose of free will is that, you know, we living within God's law, but you have the option to break those laws, and through you breaking those laws, there's a cause and effect to that. So I think that that's where the lessons of life comes from you learning from those mistakes or those times when you went outside of God's will, and then you gained understanding. It's like kind of like, oh, now I'm coming closer to Him because I learned the mistakes from stepping outside of God's law. You see what I'm saying? So I think that He allows us to have the space to go against His will in order to bring us back to Him, per se. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody, obviously, you know, everybody doesn't get to that point, but
right.
That's what I think. You know what I'm saying?
But do you find that a little bit cynical, a little bit, because it's like, or like a little bit like it almost seems, it makes it seem as though God has like this ego, like I'm gonna make people have free will so I could see how many come back to me. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you create, you know, even like in creation?
Because we're in the body. That's the whole point of being human. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not spirits anymore. We're spirits in the body, and we have egos. You know what I'm saying? The spirits doesn't have an ego. Humans, we in this body, it gives us an ego. Through our ego, we learned, you know what I'm saying, from pretty much we can purify ourselves through our ego by learning from our ego, if that makes sense. It's like learning from the mistakes you would. Learning was like, okay, I was in spirit, I made a good decision. Right. Or I made a bad decision, I was in ego, I was in my body, I was in my feelings. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
So it's like the same thing. I think that's why we are living this physical body, literally. You know what I'm saying? You know, the goal is to live as a spirit in the body. That's how you get, like how they say you get what's it called? Christ consciousness. You know, you have to live as a spirit in the body. So that's like the kind of like the goal. If you want to, you know, reach the highest levels of consciousness, then that's you know what I'm saying, you have to try to become a spirit in the body. And you know, they always say it's like the spirit needs nothing, the body, it has desires. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the spirit knows that it needs nothing, and I think that's kind of like the lessons of life. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know. Like I think back to creation, and then in the Bible in Genesis when God created the heavens and the earth and man, and it just seemed to me like, all right, if you made the you know how they said that He made the earth, everything in like 7 days, right? And on the seventh day He rested, and then everything He said that He saw, it was good. But then it's like all right, you made everything perfect, everything was good. You made Adam, you made Eve, and then everything was good. And then like, oh, by the way, don't eat from this tree of good and evil. Like, why would you put that there? Like, why would you even like? What was the point of putting that there? That's like painting a perfect picture and then turning around and just lighting it on fire. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, what would be the purpose of you putting imperfection into like perfection? Like, what would be the point of that? And maybe that's not something for us to know.
But the thing is that's, I think, you know, even if that, let's say that there is happening, it's like you leaving that tree there to leave the possibility, you know what I'm saying, of what could happen. It's like, all right, you have perfection, but it's like, okay, we wouldn't be able to expand. Our consciousness would not be able to reach further if we knew what perfection was. If we were all perfect and there was nothing else to learn, then the universe can't expand. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you need the what's it called? You need the antagonist. You need
you gotta have the balance.
You got to bring the balance, because if everything is perfect, we'll never learn shit. We'll never expand.
So then it's safe to say that God He purposely made balance. Like He purposely made evil to balance the good, the good. You see what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, because He had to have made, if you're going to sit there and say, oh, Adam and Eve don't eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and you just made everything, my nigga. You just made everything.
That. But look what you just said. You just said it right there. He said, don't eat from the tree of good and evil. Right now you have the knowledge of what evil is. When I put this beautiful garden here, all you knew was good. Now you gain that knowledge of evil. Now you have the option to be evil now. So let me spank that ass and bring you back to me. And that's what we're going through right now. That's pretty much what that shit is about. Like, it's like you got to have that possibility. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything's going to be perfect. But if you don't do what I say, you know what I'm saying? It's time to spank that ass. And that's what we're going through.
And I agree. I agree. I like that because, but the thing is though, like there's like there's two like complete extremes though. It's not like, oh, I spank that ass and like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You get a slap on the wrist. Nah, you get one shot, my nigga. You either going to heaven or you going to hell. Like that seems like a bit.
But to be all the way real, Brian, it's not though, in my opinion, because all it takes is that one seed. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is that one suggestion, that one idea. If you were suggested to evil, now it's in you forever. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just this little dot that's in your soul that's just waiting for, like, you know, an opportunity to open up and get bigger and get bigger and get bigger. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they say, even just what the subconscious mind is. Everything you see in your brain, everything you listen to, everything you watch is planting a seed in you. You know what I'm saying? You can't undo what your subconscious sees, you know what I'm saying, or experiences. So it's the same thing, you know. All it takes is for one bad apple to spoil the rest. You know what I'm saying? As simple as that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I heard somebody put it so simply. They said, as far as free will, you don't have a choice until you have to make a choice.
Yeah, that's the nothing before something. The void, you know.
Yeah.
The void. That's the you know. That's where all creativity comes from. That's what creativity is. It's nothing until it becomes something. It's you know, it's an idea in your head, and then if you create it, or whatever the fuck it may be, anything, you know. I just created in my mind the idea of picking up this lighter. There, I fucking did it. You know what I'm saying? It was that idea and that thought wasn't there a few seconds ago, but now it's in the existence of the universe now. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. It's that simple, you know.
All right,
did
now
you though? I'm saying
no, but no, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's like, do you believe in God or not? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much how I'm looking at the shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I believe in God, but when I'm trying to figure out, okay, while there is a God, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, maybe I'm trying. Maybe that ain't my lane.
But remember, Randall.
Not mind God's business.
Now, I remember Randall said one time. Remember, you were saying it was like that golden line or something. It's like that thin line. Something about everybody's like life is like a
sacred timeline.
The secret timeline is like, I think your secret timeline is what you was put on earth to be, but you have the option of straying off that secret timeline. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like you do have free will, but you know, I have you know. It's like if you do as, you know, if you become the the optimal version of yourself to who I put you to be, then you will be blessed. You know what I'm saying? There's some shit like that, you know. And then like all the other bullshit that come in life, you know. It'd be micro decisions that we make. It might be the little bit of negativity we put out, and we might be the only nigga in the room. And that's just putting a ripple into the universe. And that's why you ain't where you want to be like yet in life. You know what I'm saying? You might not even know it. You ain't never did shit to nobody. Right. But that's the point they're trying to say is like that's all part. God ain't put you out here and on here to be all negative. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
then why would you create negativity then?
So you can learn, nigga. So you can learn. It's not supposed to be.
What if you ain't trying to learn?
How do you know? How you know what good is? How do you know what good is without bad? Right? You can't know what good is without bad. Right?
You don't know how
without code.
Pain and pleasure.
All right, but I would be okay with that if the complete extreme wasn't an eternal fire for all them. You know what I'm saying?
But to be honest with you, but like look at people though. You know, look at the world we in. We got war and all this other shit. Like, you know, it's like this the saying what violence begets violence. Is like every you know, it's like a virus that spreads. You know, all it had to take was one, you know, for Cain to kill Abel. You know what I'm saying? And now we out here just like, you know, listening to, you know, drill rap and shit and niggas talking about shooting. We all here like, yeah, nigga, this shit's hard. Like, you know, it's the same shit. You know, it's like, come on, man. You got to think about that shit. Like, you got to look at the shit that's so normal in our lives that we see and we experience every single day. And we try to tell ourselves it's regular. But that shit right there is creating the world that you're talking about, Brian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like, do we blame ourselves or do we blame God for giving us karma? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like it's almost like you got to understand, like this isn't like, even though they say it's a test, yes, everything is a test, but like it's like there's only one shot, nigga. You only get, and there is no.
I mean,
B's and C's, nigga. You get an A or you get an F.
Nah, I mean, I don't agree with that. I think it's like it's like the pendulum. It's like the further to the left you go, the further to the right the kickback gonna be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can make mistakes, but it's like the harder you go, the harder you fall. Is whatever the fuck It's like.
Nah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, it's yeah. I've been thinking about this.
No, yeah, I had the same struggle. Remember the time I asked that question? I was like, if ultimately, like, there's fate and you have like one, like your story has already been written, like, do you really have free will?
I mean, like I said, you
I know,
yeah.
but it's like anywhere you slice it, like I think both. I mean, both fit.
To be honest with you, I don't even think this shit's supposed to be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like and then especially like even some of the people that believe in reincarnation. I mean, reincarnation. I said it right? Reincarnation. Yeah. They think it takes multiple lifetimes to get to that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep reincarnating, coming back to you.
And that I can understand.
You know what I'm saying? And that might be your other chance. Like you were saying, we might get one chance, but actually we probably get multiple chances. You know what I mean? We just
that's true.
Come back in a different form,
Or maybe like part of it is just even having this conversation and questioning. You know what I mean?
But maybe that'd be
part of it.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
That's true.
Or this is just that. This is the free will is the lesson that is supposed to be learned in this like dimension or whatever like physical reality we live in now. Like that's just this is just level X, and then next level is something else.
Remember in the Matrix when Neo, I think it was the third one, when he went and he met he went inside and he met the white dude. And remember he saw himself like all of his different ones before him, the same dude making the same decision, and he decided to make another decision.
The architect.
The architect. He met the architect, and he said that and to me, that kind of symbolized like free will. Like, all right, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do shit a little differently. You know what I'm saying? And he chose to make a different type of decision than all his predecessors did, which ultimately led to the survival of Zion. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
All right, so like. Even like tapping into like all this Elon and the free will shit. Do you think there's people in our world today that kind of infringe on our free will? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they come out with certain. They prop up the music, like we said. They prop up just all the evils per se.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, they're using certain instruments of, technology, and it's kind of infringing on our free will.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Or even spiritual leaders and shit like that.
I agree 100%. We always go back to social media, just all that shit just infringes on your free will, because like you said, you just fucking about to go do what you live out God's purpose, and then you look at your phone, see your ass. You know what I'm saying? Now you looking at your phone for like 5-10 minutes, wasting fucking time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's an infringement on your free will.
Right.
Like shit
or
like
even,
that.
Or people how like they fucking with our food, or they fucking with our health with this virus and the solution to the virus. You know what I'm saying? They're forcing your hand, but not really. Like you always have a choice to not do the shit, but they kind of make it hard just because of you're trying to survive in this like rat race. So they are definitely they're like bending, almost to like the spaghetti, the hard spaghetti break, but it kind of like letting loose at the end. Like they
Hell
try
yeah.
to almost to the
They
very
they know that we have to. They
'cause they
understand that we
by the
have
rules,
to
right?
make a
So that
choice.
kind of proves free will.
Yeah.
Exactly. They understand we
proves
got to make a choice.
Yeah.
But what they've done a very, very good
So
job
that
of
proves it. All right.
is making us feel making us
Like we
feel as
feel like
though
we
like
have a choice.
exactly
right.
But they're
like, oh, this is
ushering
only
us.
what they are to do.
Right.
And
So
then
that
they
kind
say,
of
but-
ties into that democracy shit Elon be talking about. Like it's
And
it's a fake democracy or whatever. Like they preach that to us all the time, but it's a fake democracy.
Yep,
So
I agree.
So that
And
proves
it-
the
And it also
existence
ties
of
into that shit that you always be saying. It also ties to that shit you always be saying when you be like talking about like how we have to give them permission in
Right.
order for them to. So it's like they can't really force it on us. They have to manipulate us into giving them the permission to fuck us over pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's kind of how that shit is.
Have you guys heard of the determinism?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of that before. Yeah.
It's, determinism is in philosophy and science the thesis that all events in the universe, including man's and humans' decisions and actions, are causally inevitable. Some philosophers have taken determinism to imply that individual human beings have no free will and cannot be held morally responsible for their actions. I think morally,
that sounds like an
think-
atheist.
yeah, I think morally, I mean, I'm definitely responsible for what the fuck I do. But yeah, some of that it just sounds kind of crazy, but I think that I just think that once you make the decision, it's like, all right, if you've made a decision that eventually leads you on a path of darkness, and then you are able, like you said, able to come out of that to God or into the light, then like that is part of the journey. That's the reason why free will is what it is. It's the ability to, okay, like what, you know what I'm saying? Like you make a decision, what's going to happen after that? Like, how do you come out of that decision that you make, even if it's good or bad? Because even if you make a good decision, you got to still continue to make good decisions. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's some day it's always like you have shit happens to all the time. And I know that y'all can relate. Like shit be going good in your life. Everything you just be having one of those days where it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm fucking happy, bro. Like my family's good, everything's good, everything. And then boom, 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 life hits you. And it's just like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like everything was good. And it's just like, nah, it's like your good lessons don't, you know what I'm saying, don't last too long. It's like those good
times. It'd be scary when shit be too good. You'd be like, all right, shit is too good. What the fuck is about to come up? Like it's like, what is about to come next? All right, okay. He's like, I know this ain't gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Which is a crazy way. Like it's like, yo, like everything should always be good, but it's not. It's more often not good. It's more often not, more so, I'm not gonna say bad, but negative than it is positive. You know what I'm saying? But I guess the only way down is up, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Brian, that's the part of life, bro. It's like you gotta know how to keep a smile in the worst fucking days and shit. Like that's what keeps you,
If I get down,
that's kind of what I guess that's what keeps you in alignment. I guess you would say,
I guess this is also where faith comes into play as well.
Yep, and that's probably one of the
few
things that can
faith.
keep somebody. Yeah, and that's probably one of the few things that can give somebody the capability of smiling on the fucked up day. You know what I'm saying? Or laughing or whatever the fuck.
Just whatever. You gotta understand, like, Lord, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Shit, I think that's kind of what the concept of
crazy.
For real, I think that's where a lot of like comedy and like comedians and shit. I feel like that's where a lot of their like creativity come from, like from that same place we like kind of talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like turning something dark into humor. That's basically what the fuck they do. That's basically what they do.
I like that. That in between is like, I like that. Comedians.
So I feel like beating the head over, but like I feel like everything that we like witness now that's like mainstream, like big news. That is like our test against free will. Like 2020 George Floyd shit, they're making you believe, you know what I mean, you know, or any like type of false flag or anything that's being machine gunned into the news and shit. Like that's a testament on your free will.
Yeah, it's a spiritual warfare.
Forcing you to think or feel or, you know what I mean, sway you one way. And then the whole time they're using your money and your good faith and buying $6 million houses with your donations.
Damn. That's crazy.
Which also funded the Democratic Party through Act Blue. Y'all can Google that if y'all want to.
So how did they defend it though? I didn't hear how they defended it. Like, what did they say? I heard it was a what's it called house? What you call it? Content house, like those little mansions that people be shooting their little content videos and shit.
Like Funny Mike on YouTube.
I guess I never heard him. Oh, but if you watch Bel Air with the daughter, what Hillary was doing in the Bel Air joint, it's like she moved into one of them homes.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's crazy though. I mean,
you guys,
go ahead.
If let me ask you a question. This is a rhetorical question. Let's say you were a spirit, right? You were a spirit, you were a soul amongst God, and it was your turn in heaven, and God came to you and said, "Hey, do you want to stay here, or you want to go, you know what I'm saying, be born in as a human and experience free will and have to make your way back to me, but you may or may not be able to do that." Would you be willing to do that, or would you just be like, "Nah, I'm good, I'm gonna stay here"? Like, would you?
I'd be like, "I'm good, I'm gonna stay here."
So
like, who I'll go through that shit?
And that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, all right, I didn't ask to be here, so like the least.
But maybe you did though. But you just
that's
don't
what I'm
know
saying,
that.
and that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm getting to. Like, yo, like, what if like that's the reason why babies be crying, because they're like, no,
I know, right? I know.
Babies be crying because they wake up. And
that might be why though.
Damn it, I didn't want to come here. No.
And you know what's so crazy? Like the content, like who knows how like maybe like babies come out just like brilliant and they just can't express it. So they probably might even be aware that they're spirits. Like they don't even know they're human yet. They might be aware that they're spirits, but they can't talk because spirits don't talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just think about that. Like they're as pure as it comes. They probably come out like literally spirits in a body, like fresh.
That's true.
You know, and then but then what happens is that like that, you know, your genetic, the parents' history through their bodies probably, you know, kind of prepares them to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Even at birth. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's crazy.
No, yeah, you pass on memories through DNA.
Yeah, pass on memories and little stuff like that, traumas, all kinds of shit. Yeah.
So do you think that the story of Adam and Eve, do you think that Adam and Eve is them eating from the tree of knowledge and good and evil is a generational curse?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like the longest. The biggest generational curse.
I mean, look, like I just said, the biggest. No, you're right though. But we went from the garden to, you know, fucking world, Ukraine and with Russia and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so it makes you think that shit gonna go away anytime soon. That's why we had this conversation before. I feel like only an act of God could change this, because we clearly don't get it. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Even like, so it seems as if like when God created us, and it seems like he realized, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he understood that even like with his perfection, he created imperfection. And it's just like, that's why he had, you know what I'm saying? That's why he had to hit the reset a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to do the flood. He's like, these motherfuckers ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? And then he had to send his son, Jesus Christ. It's like, all right, I keep having to
try to fix them. And they,
Yeah.
like, I just can't fix them.
I keep
You're not lying though, because it kind of do be saying like he literally like was trying to like save us multiple times, bro.
Right. As a good father would.
And you
right?
know what's so crazy though? Because even it's so funny because that's kind of what the mindset that God was in, according to what the Bible is like. Are they're so disgusting? So it's like So it's like, isn't that what Thanos was on? You know what I'm saying? It was like literally the same thing. That his intention behind the flood was the same exact shit Thanos was on. Same exact story.
Yep.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I never thought of that. Wow. Yeah.
So is Thanos a bad guy, really? You know what I'm saying?
That's what they were trying. That's what they were trying to say.
I think that's what they were trying to throw in. I think they were trying to put that little question mark, like, or does he actually love us and he's trying to create peace on earth by destroying and rebuilding?
Wow. It's OT.
It's like you gotta kill the cancer sometimes,
But he wiped out Black Panther. What'd he do?
And that's the thing about these movies, though, right? You know how they be like trying to trick you, where it'll be like the bad guy is the good guy and the good guy is the bad guy and shit. It's like you're trying to preserve, this, you're trying to like, it's like he's trying to preserve Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? He like, I'm trying to destroy this shit. So we're people who live in Sodom and Gomorrah. We're so used to living the Sodom and Gomorrah life. We like, why is that dude being so mean, nigga? We chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's like nigga, we got super Sodom and Gomorrah superhero. He over here trying to defend us, and that nigga's like, oh, these people, these humans, they're just terrible in this Sodom and Gomorrah country. He trying to destroy us because he look at us like just so impure. And like, nigga, we be partying and shit. We like, why this nigga trying to fuck up the party? We having a great time. Like, I feel like that's kind of what the movies be doing. So you actually look at the villain sometimes, and he's actually the good guy, and the good guy is actually trying to preserve some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the new Batman? Did you see the new Batman?
I didn't see that yet.
Man, the Riddler was like taking down a corrupt government.
For real, that's something to see.
And using Batman as his lead detective.
It was some OG shit.
Yeah, I got shit. Wow, that's impressive. That's
some
actually
OG shit.
I ain't
like the mob boss was like, well, I'll let y'all watch it, but
I got
the whole concept behind the movie was actually
it
wasn't a point in time I was like, damn, the Riddler's wilding. Nah, he was like
it was like you actually was like, okay,
so it's crazy. That's wild. See, that's a great concept, because if you think about like even in the news, it'll be like they'll make us think that the guy who's going against the government might be a bad dude, and he actually might be trying to like bring down some corrupt shit, and they'll make us be like, someone needs to stop him, and he's actually doing the right thing.
When the Riddler, I'm trying to think back to like the.
Was he a bank robber, right?
Nah, that was a.
What was he?
He was like, I swear he was like a scientist or something.
The Riddler?
The Riddler?
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
At the beat, I'm trying to think back to. I know Jim Carrey played him back in the day. I swear he was a scientist.
That one. That wasn't. That was
a comic book. Actually.
Yeah, that wasn't comic.
That wasn't comic book. Okay.
This one is more so.
And this is like close to like the Arkham like series.
Yeah, this was.
Okay.
It can get better too. That's the thing. Yeah,
I give it an 8+.
Oh wow.
8 Randall Bells.
Wow.
That say a lot coming from Randall, right? Like, nigga, this nigga rarely gives 8s.
And he was critical about the movie.
He can't give you a 6.
Right. But I was critical the first time I seen it. I was like, you know what? And then like the second time I was like, let me just, cause I went to the movies twice to see it. Let me just look at it for, it is what it is. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm really enjoying this shit. It's an 8.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
But yeah,
I wasn't too excited about it because the dude from the vampire joint was playing Batman.
He's a little emo, but
it works. It works. I give it a shot.
He's a very, very good Batman. Bruce Wayne, not so much, but like I said, you gotta kind of take it, for what it is, and that period of time and where he is as Bruce Wayne and Batman, all that shit.
Okay.
Do you guys think that still on the topic of free will before we get on, do you guys think that free will could be taken from you?
Yeah.
Of course. It's called prison.
Okay. So if it could be taken for you, are you then no longer liable for, you know what I'm saying? Like if I no longer have free will, as you just said, if it has been taken from me, then how can I be held accountable for my actions in the eyes of God if it's been taken from me?
Because you still have free will, even every decision you make in there. Obviously, it's rules that you got to abide by inside the jail, and that's probably part of the whatever test he putting you through in that moment. But you know, you still have free will. You still have decisions to make every day. You know.
Yeah, because what if you ain't learned in the previous life, and this is the harder,
the harsher, you know, reality that you have to experience to get it. You know,
got you.
And plus, we'll put you in there.
At some point in time, you have
the free will to put you in there in the get-go. I know people are wrongfully accused all the time, but I'm saying, what got you in, you know, a certain situation? You probably
I'm talking more so about the government just like mind fucking you and fucking not, you know what I'm saying? Like you being like hit from so many different angles where your decisions aren't even your decisions anymore.
Oh, you mean like kind of like Manchurian candidates and shit, or like people under MK Ultra. Yeah, I mean, like how on a spiritual level, I would say like non-physical. On a spiritual level, they might be just opening your body up for a demon. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you don't know who you are and you lose complete control of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like physically, it's like, damn, they're torturing them. They have them watching that video, but that torture is probably opening up your spirit. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. So, you know, I think that's what be happening to these people. I think they be like opening their bodies up to demons and shit. And that's why they, you know.
All right. So on that Gotham type shit and also on the Manchurian Candidate type shit, this is overtime. You think like that Brooklyn shooting in that subway?
Very possible. Very possible. Very possible Manchurian Candidate, definitely.
And he seemed like just some regular.
They allow him to have a YouTube channel and like say like racist shit. Like we can't say, we get hemmed up all the time for saying some slight shit. That's accurate.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good observation.
That's a good observation. Yeah. And that it has a lot of similarities to like the whole Gotham, the Batman type junk, because the Riddler was using social media and shit like that. And just how it looked, it was like he was using tear gas and you know what I'm saying? Look, wow.
The Batman movies always got something to them, don't they?
But look at some of these facts. This is in the Daily Mail. The Bureau knew he was on a terrorist watch list after an incident in New Mexico in 2019. So he was on a list.
They always on the list.
He posted ominous videos on YouTube about race and shootings. March 20, he announced he was leaving Wisconsin and will never be back again alive.
That was on March what?
March 20th. Like these are like how they got all these bullet points before you even read the article that says he's a Manchurian candidate.
But remember that dude that shot at the Navy Yard? Like how long ago was that? About like what 10 years ago or something?
Yeah.
Wasn't the same shit? They was like saying he was frustrated due to racism or some shit, and he just started shooting people.
Right.
But it's funny how that always seems to be the narrative for these type of things.
Right. I was just about to say that.
He opened fire with a handgun, shooting 10 people before somehow managing to flee. Yeah, the Stendo. And last but not least, all the surveillance cameras in the station was not working.
Of course. Never. Why would they be? What do you mean work? What do you mean working?
In New York? Forget about
it. What do you mean? Get out of here. You're a funny guy. And how old was Cuz?
He looked like he about like his
60s. Yeah, 62. Yeah. And then I remember like they said, oh, we got a suspect, he's 5'5", but then like when they showed him walking out with police, the dude ain't look 5'5". Look about like 5'10".
Some wild shit. I know. I definitely probably fucked up New York money a little bit too, because I know tourists that definitely ain't trying to probably ride the subway.
Posted memes about guns, bullets, and 9/11. So they try and probably rope them into like conspiracy theories.
Oh shit!
This is all the same person? don't look like the same.
That's him?
Right. Look like 4 different dudes.
That nigga the top right is him?
Right.
It might have been a younger picture of him. Because he looks skinnier in that picture too.
That don't look like him.
Man.
People was blowing he's black though. Why they always try? Like,
I know, we be like, please don't be black. Like, damn.
All the time. Like, fuck. All right.
You try to guess the crime based on race. Yeah.
I'm like, that would sound like some black shit, right?
Yeah, right. Simo said, like the dude in LA, Dorner. I remember that dude.
What happened? Who was that?
That super cop, remember? He's like ex-military and he was working with like the LAPD and he was like exposing corruption and shit, how they was like setting them up and he just like went on a rampage.
What kind of rampage? Like killing?
Yeah.
I don't
He's
remember
killing
that.
police, yeah. Y'all remember that shit?
Nah.
And he wrote like this long ass manifesto.
I don't remember that shit either.
Bro,
how long ago was that?
It was like probably a little longer than that.
This was
You
before
remember
the Vegas shooting? Wait, I'm trying to look it up now. I don't remember that shit at all. How many people he killed?
For Dorner.
I don't remember this shit at all.
What? Am I living in
I
the
don't
goddamn
remember this
time
at
simulation?
all. I don't remember this at all.
I know Simo remember that.
Yeah, that was like I think Obama was president around that time.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
Bam, he do. Why they put his picture right there?
Oh, okay, go hard.
Chris Dorner. You remember like
yeah. Okay.
You remember he like escaped to like this like cabin in like northern.
I remember that. Yeah. And that shit burned
like
down.
California. It was like burned. It was like
they burned that bitch down.
Yeah, they burned like the cabin down. Instead of going in and getting them.
Yes.
Like they had to get.
And they was deep.
Mm-hmm.
Them niggas was deep. They had to been about 100 cars deep out that joint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, they caned that motherfucker. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
Damn. But yeah, man, that I don't know. Free will. Smith.
I mean, have y'all watched Westworld? That show is all pretty much about free will.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
from the host to the the real people, and it's like I think like the best example of that shit is like when Maeve finally like realized like she was in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was like she was like, oh, okay. And
I
remember like when she initially did that shit, they called her a witch. It's like, oh, Bruja. I was like, okay.
What you call it is a good movie of free will too. Ex Machina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That is a free will movie.
Mm-hmm. And also she was a machine. And Maeve was a machine.
Exactly.
So do you think like eventually, all this AI and shit?
I mean, bro,
are you gonna grant them free will?
When they become self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if your decisions are no longer your decisions, then you cannot be held responsible. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't.
Is that labeling you human? If you can give a machine free will, is that pretty much labeling you as a human? Or then you're gonna be labeled as transhuman?
It's a transhuman,
right? The moment you have free will,
because you are no longer original. You are born like of the system. You are no longer born of the source. I'm sorry. You're born of the source, but you trans into something different. You're always born from the source. Always.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Trans into the like you are no longer what you were born to be. You know what I'm saying? Which is a wild fucking thought that like that shit is in our backyard, bro. Like
it's on our hills.
Wait,
yes.
wait, are you asking
Yeah.
if are you asking if robots have free will? Like if
Not like the moment they do, like that's gonna be like that gives them the title of like almost human.
Yeah, I think they can have free will to us because I think if they gain enough knowledge and information and all that other shit, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what the fuck they can create and be fucking full blown Transformers walking around this bitch. But like, I don't know, but I think also they can't reproduce though. But then again, all they gotta do is they can make more of themselves. They can just make more of themselves. Like
remember that article?
They can build robots to build robots.
Right. But remember that article that we found? It was like Xenobots that said they can reproduce themselves.
No, I ain't never
remember
seen
the article.
Yeah,
we pulled it up on here.
That's
called like Xenobots.
Nigga, that's
How
just
the fuck do you even do that? Like who was the person who created that hardware?
that's some wild shit right there.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that okay, we're born with our free will, but a robot can develop its own artificial free will?
You remember that?
mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. That's like,
But that
like
has to
how
be a
that's
source,
like
though.
you said, that the niggas is just trying to play like this is the ultimate niggas trying to play the role of God.
But look,
He's
but
just
what
trying-
is even if they create robots, there has to be some sort of source that's keeping them. There has to be something, and whatever that source is, it has to be man-made. It's not comes from spirit, so there's some cord out there that can be cut.
Yeah.
But it's just that the robots can probably learn how to protect that shit where we can never get to that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And that might be the ultimate punishment for us trying to play God. You know what I'm saying? What if
The ultimate chord is us.
if we get conquered by our own creation, that's crazy.
The ultimate chord for them niggas'
that happens,
existence is
right?
us. And
Terminator
we
1, 2.
love them more than we love ourselves. We love technology more than we love ourselves.
That's
Bro,
real.
what if we are Xenobots? To some degree.
Interesting. Technically.
What are we looking at right here?
I'm sitting here staring at the shit.
I know.
I don't know what the fuck going on.
It look like
I'm like, are those the little cream puffs that you get in the that go in the
Look like,
fridge and they got the
Pops or Snaps cereal.
I was gonna say the
It's
peanut
so
butter Captain Crunch,
satisfying.
but yeah.
Yeah, move that joint. I was staring at that joint.
But what was that though?
Those are I think that's them like under a microscope.
What?
The C-shaped parent xenobots collect and compress loose
that was
themselves
sugar.
together into piles which can mature into offspring.
Oh, so basically they like rub against each other till like the skin or whatever comes off, and then like the little particles like attach each other.
Yeah.
I mean, so then really it's just a bunch of mini like basically like mini robotic cells just coming together and like
It's a regeneration.
and forming a single consciousness like in the robot way.
Fucking sick.
Wow. That's
But then what's the source though? Like, you know what I'm saying, of the little robots and shit. Like you can probably turn the motherfuckers off though. That's just what they do when you don't turn them off. That's what I'm thinking.
Y'all turn the motherfuckers off.
but that's what I'm saying. The source is us. We are
exactly.
the source. We're the source. That's I know I keep saying it, but even like what Neo in the Matrix, it's like he, they turned us into batteries. We are the source of them. Like that, they wouldn't be able to be here without it. That's why they had to create so many fields and just feed off of us because you know what I'm saying? Like we were the batteries. We give them life. Without them, without us, there would be no them. So that's why at the end of the day, like I don't see where they would like destroy us because technically machines need us. You know what I'm saying? Because they thrive. They're like you said, their source is us, and their source is the electricity. We are made of. We are electric beings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need us because
You
if
know, that's a
everything
double
else died,
entendre, right?
huh?
I said that you can apply that in multiple ways. I'm saying like in multiple things. Like if you look at that shit on different levels, like that can be applied even from a human to human level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's some real ass shit.
It's wild.
Somebody's always the source, right? Like who's the source of influence? You know what I mean? Like who does everybody feed off? Or like, even down sometimes to the fashion, how people talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like even there's a source that everyone, gets their inspiration from. Music you listen to.
This is a robot made out of magnetic slime that can go into your body and retrieve shit.
Oh yes, this is interesting.
What the fuck is gonna retrieve though?
Like an instrument that may have been left behind, or certain cancer cells it can target. That's fucking.
Look like
that would feel crazy inside your lungs. If that shit went inside your lung, that would feel wild, bro. They would have to put you to sleep for that.
Right.
Yeah,
like, can you imagine feeling some shit just crawling into your lungs and shit? That would feel crazy. They would definitely.
Sir, can you give me 20 cc's of
So they're controlling it like I guess there's a controller that's making it do that.
I don't know, because it kind of looked like it's moving like on its own.
On its own, yeah.
It's just programmed to go get whatever it is.
You give it the mission.
I see what you're saying. Damn, see, there's some like brilliant fucking people out here that just be making this type of shit.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you see how small that space was?
Like, what was the mathematic equation to come up with that shit?
See, that shit is cool how I like kind of fuse those two things together.
Remember? Have y'all remember the movie Fern Gully?
Yeah. Oh, and it can split. It can split and then come back together.
The Fern Gully joint in Amazon.
Yeah. Remember the joint in Fern Gully? It started out like this.
Oh yeah.
Remember that thing? That shit was just like it was like toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The goop.
The sludge.
That's crazy though. Like I can see people like
look at this shit.
Having some shit like that in their house. That could be like a household item at some point.
Go
like
get me a Sprite.
You drop some shit down the drain. You know what I'm saying?
Go get my Sprite. Go get my Sprite out the kitchen.
Oh yeah, you drop it.
That's what that is. Flubber.
Joint. Yeah.
That's a piece Robin Williams. Flubber.
Or when like you accidentally sneeze and your tree go everywhere, just like.
Yeah, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Drop that joint right back on the table.
That shit look like Venom.
Right.
So
Symbiote.
Symbiote,
yeah.
Just like that shit. The fuck?
I don't know.
That's just supposed to show you, man. That shit was in a movie. That shit looked too much like that Venom.
It did look like
that. Why? How is that so symbolic? Like resemble that shit like that?
So Venom is a robot.
I mean, yeah, they made it in the lab.
It's alien technology, yeah. It's a robot.
I got one.
We're going into some crazy times, guys. Do you guys think that our kids will see the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, all right,
I don't know.
Something's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, do like an about face. Because I think the questions are being asked, just not in big enough circles. But I think that it's building steam, but it's like, all right, is the train going to be able to stop before it goes off the cliff? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it going to be able to stop and go back the other way before it actually goes clear off the motherfucking Grand Canyon? That's the question.
I mean, I guess it depends on how the people on Twitter feel.
Hey, their opinion is everything.
million likes.
You get if you ain't liked on Twitter, you not liked on this planet, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You fuck up on Twitter, you might as well just hang it up, bro. You might as well just hang it up. Excuse me.
But nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, because the one concern I do have about this upcoming generations, and especially the direction that society going in, like these kids are gonna be in the metaverse. They ain't gonna be giving a fuck what's going on in the real world, you know. I feel like that's exactly like that shit. The metaverse is gonna be regular to them. Like they gonna be there. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another wild article.
Let me see it. OT77. Like and subscribe. Don't forget.
Chile approves a law to protect employment rights of mutants and genetically modified humans.
So we get the X-Men out here.
Hold on. Let me read that again. So what did it? Wait.
The National Congress of Chile approved a bill titled "Prohibits Labor Discrimination Against Mutations or Alterations of Genetic Material or Genetic Testing."
I mean, is this a what article? Like, who is this published by?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the source of this article?
Damn, why can't I zoom out? I can download it.
I clicked the up down joint.
Like, is this for like what kind of like work environment? Like, what is this? Like where they work at?
I don't know. I think it just was it state law. I don't know. I mean,
what is considered a mutant?
Maybe I don't know.
And a genetically modified human. What is that like? People with like, what is that?
With Pfizer?
Stupid. You got the vaccination?
Could be.
Because that this could mean anything.
Oh, like if you got like a genetic disease?
Yeah, like if you have like some type of
Also kind of like a disability. Like kind of like a disability act. Yeah, it could be that.
Kind of like that.
They could have dressed it up.
But they yeah, I mean that's a good dress up. Genetically modified humans.
I'm looking that shit up. All I'm seeing is like monsters and shit. I mean mutant humans.
You put Chile.
Do you think that mutant humans live amongst us though?
I don't know. Probably.
LeBron James. It's like I don't know.
Like the motherfucking like Eternals type, you know what I'm saying?
Like gatekeepers?
Yeah, like people, you know, like angels dressed in.
Right. I would think those would be like quote unquote aliens. I think it would be like, you know, fallen angels and shit like that. I don't believe in like green men and shit like that no more.
Because even remember the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves?
Mm-hmm.
And remember when he told her after they were driving in the whip and he told her, I need to go meet with somebody. Remember he met the Asian dude in like the shop, the little Waffle House, and he's talking to him and he was just like, these people ain't worth saving, kind of sort of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
There was another movie like that recently.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because even the dude in the shop was like, they ain't worth it, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was like, they not worth it. This is not the planet that you think it is, bro. These niggas ain't
shit.
Them
niggas is mid.
Them niggas ain't shit. Don't save a goddamn thing down here. But he ultimately did. Hey, free will. He ultimately did though. It went against everything.
What if it's like a global test on free will?
What do you mean?
Like how we said, like the whole flood shit. Like it's a whole global test on free will. And the moment globally we get it right, we ascend.
Still I rise.
What do you mean? you mean like the whole world together as one ascend together?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, all right, put it like this. All right, do you think we're getting closer to a one world government, you know what I'm saying, new world order type world, or you think we're closer to like
one world consciousness?
One world exactly. Like which level of globalization you think is more realistic? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? What level of globalization sounds
the flood is coming. Sense. Nah, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. So all right, so now that if let's stay there, right? Now what if this whole let's all come together as one, like, you know, we're trying to come together, like what if that shit is just manipulating us to falling into the shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like the one world government, the one world, you know.
That's crazy because I just seen the article.
So all this shit,
that's true,
right? So
because that's how they paint it.
That's how they paint it exactly. Like but a lot of that shit is even in all in the you know, even the cabal. Well, not the cabal. I won't say that, but you know, it's just something like that's always being like pushed in that consciousness shit. Like we should all come together and all that. But even sometimes I'll be thinking, even with that consciousness shit, there'd be like little tricks in there. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
questions. Since you bring that up, do y'all think that we kind of already are in a one world government, basically? I mean, because the U.S. basically everybody marches basically at the beat of the U.S. drum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think. But I think the one world government is already like, you know what I mean, the Vatican, Jesuit type thing. I think it's already been, you know, like, you know, everybody's in cahoots with each other. So it's already a one world government.
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah, that's my question. So it's already here. So it's basically already here.
But it's crazy how that is, because sometimes they paint the picture like it's coming, and we like just waiting, and not knowing we get slapped right over the head with the shit. You know,
we're waiting for World War III
exactly.
Waiting for a war that ain't gonna never happen because it's already happening.
Yeah.
Right. This is one long sustainable World War III.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, this
like when you can't find your phone and you're using your phone to find your phone. You be like, oh, where the fuck is my phone at? It's just in your hand, and you're like, oh shit.
One World Religion headquarters set to open next year, and
that's exactly what that is, though.
Yeah. In Abu Dhabi.
What's that? Is that Chrislam? What is it? What are they doing?
Come on, man. One word. That's what it said. One world religion, one world government, one world military, like all that. And I think that might be also part of the reason why the overall morale of the police in like America is kind of like, oh, dismantle the police, defund the police, so we can you know, usher into one standard all across the world. Because it's funny, the protests was happening all over the world. It wasn't just here, you know. So it's crazy how that might have been the plan all along. Like it's like, yeah, let's demoralize, you know, the police in this country or whatever country you living in the world. And then we'll be like, you know what? Let's create a new standard. You know, from chaos comes order. So let's create a new standard. You know, it's going to be one standard for the whole world, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, you know. And then we under a one world government. You know,
that's crazy.
The headquarters is being done in collaboration with Pope Francis and Sunni Muslim leader Sheikh Amin Al Taib.
I told you it's going to be Chrislam.
After they both signed a global peace covenant called the Document of Human Fraternity for World Peace. So they kind of dressing up as world peace. The One World Religion headquarters will have 3 buildings, 1 building each representing the mosque, church, and the synagogue. However, the church is not permitted to have a cross on the building as a method of identifying it, as it is illegal to display a Christian cross on the building in the United, you know, Emirates.
Dang, what about all the other religions?
Not in here.
Right. Not up in here. Damn. It's like millions of Buddhists. Yeah, them
All
Buddhist folks will be mad.
Abraham.
And you know what's so crazy though? The thing that make this so much more possible is because of our phones. You know, because they brainwashing devices. You can change the mindset of the whole world in a day. You know, just based off whatever we said was offensive and shit. You know, it's crazy. Like you could literally one day say a word, and then Twitter's today, the next day say that's an offensive word, and you can't say that 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Yeah. They suspend you or ban you. You post a comment with that word.
So imagine how you can control the world, you know what I'm saying, through those devices.
So like that whole like Elon shit is like kind of like dumb as fuck anyway. Cause like how you gonna try to take on you're gonna try to take on a social media platform. So at that point it's gonna be, you know, pretty much Wild Wild West. Like you're gonna have to put your foot down at some point, right? You could say it's free speech, but at some point it's like, you know what I'm saying? You could say the most wild shit. It's like, oh, Elon, what the fuck? I thought this was, you know, Elon's Twitter. Like you could say anything you want, but at certain points you can't say, oh, bro, you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying?
So what is it about Twitter that makes Twitter like this? Because I've never had Twitter, but like what makes it like that?
It's all opinions, like quick, fast opinions, putting down people, propping people up.
So it's the quickness of it that invites that. Is
Twitter,
that what it is?
I mean, Twitter,
like instant messaging.
Twitter got.
You can do that with all them joints. You can do that with everything.
I don't know. Twitter put Trump in office. I'll say that. So it's very
all right.
powerful.
So what's
and they turned around and took him off because he was too powerful.
All right. So what's the difference between Instagram and Facebook compared to Twitter? Like, how come you can get your messages off on all of them, but like why? Okay, even take Instagram out of it. But what is it more about like fucking Facebook and
put
Twitter?
it like
this?
What is Instagram, like putting a message out on Instagram is like you get an alert on your phone. You may or may not get it, but you'll look down. Yeah. Getting a message on Twitter is like getting a message in your mind. Like you can't. It's weird. It's like it's always on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though the same thing is with IG, like it's like Twitter has like its own.
But IG is like more vain. It's like more about, you know, looks.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because it's picture based. So Twitter is more like a chat room.
Twitter is more like that person, how they feel.
It's like millions of headlines in a day.
Okay, I see you. Just a bunch of like little just one-liners and shit. Okay.
And words for whatever reason are like stronger than pictures.
And it's so crazy that I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a good point. But I see what you're saying. Like I guess it hits harder when you're on Twitter because you only have but so many words you can say. So I guess that's probably why, you know. It's like you ain't gonna get a person's whole thought out perspective on some shit on Twitter. You're just gonna get like a quick hitter. That's basically what you think that's what it is.
Yeah, that was gonna say a whole how they feel. Yeah.
Facebook, you like Facebook niggas be giving whole paragraphs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to sum up the way that you feel in 160 characters.
And if you really try to make a point, you probably will say some fucked up shit. If you really try to make a point, so yeah, now I see why it does that to people.
Yeah, they did make a whole movie off of Twitter. The Zola joint. If you ain't see that joint, Zola joint. That was a good ass movie. You ain't see that joint?
Zola?
It was like some strippers or whatever that went down to Florida from, I forgot from where, but they went down to Florida or whatever, and I guess they got caught up into some like pimping thing or whatever for the weekend or whatever. They're supposed to just be going down there for stripping or whatever, but they got it's a good movie. Watch it, Zola. Zola. ZOLA.
The train with what's the Spanish chick? Jenny from the block.
Jennifer Lopez?
Jennifer Lopez, yeah. That movie?
No, that's the drama with Cardi B. That's
But that sounds like the same shit you're talking about though.
Nah, the premise, the thing is this white girl got her black friend to go with her down to Florida or whatever for the weekend. She said there was this we're just gonna go down there strip or whatever.
Tricking.
Yeah, and then she ended up getting her entangled into some whole pimping. What's the app they use? The Backpage joint.
Tricking.
It's, what's it, is it Tinder or something? Whatever them joints. Yes, but they ended up it was a good story to read on like Twitter or whatever the fuck, and then they made it into a movie. It was a good movie. It was interesting. It was like, what the fuck, y'all women be out here risking it, out here risking it
for a bag,
and she made this. They got that bag too. They got that bag though.
For sex.
Yes, and feces.
They enjoy it.
Is that website still up, bro? Is that website still up?
I would never heard a child.
Let me see. It's your website still up, dog.
He said, I would never heard a child.
It sure is. I don't got the sound on.
You don't get the sound joints on
it.
What
was that drink called?
E-Bombs World.
They do. They do got the sound, boy.
Y'all
They
gonna
got
have
the
to
sound
chill.
joints.
Y'all gonna have to chill. Yeah. Don't you play
Cookies.
Cookies, milk.
And it stunk so bad.
Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin.
Let me see, man. What a sound joint.
Macaulay Culkin.
The John said uploaded 2006.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's how you know it's good. Automatic. Oh yeah, E-Bombs World.
But I don't see the actual soundboard.
Yeah, they might have got rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
His estate probably said
good night.
All that
good
shit.
Night. Good high nights.
Yep.
Just laughing at that shit, having a good old time.
For hours.
Good old time. Just laughing. Ain't even calling nobody to prank. We just keep hitting the same sound bite over and over.
I seen a compilation where somebody put together like a whole bunch of like Michael Jackson, like he was like slipping up and using like his real voice.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen that?
I just seen that this week.
Real voice.
So they was talking about he got like a deep voice or something. Whatever.
I mean, it's been people in the past that have been saying that. Like he'll like say like a word or two, you know what I'm saying, in his real voice.
Oh, it's I see what you're saying. So it's like that Michael Jackson.
He'll put it on the phone like, hey.
The Michael Jackson
like Michael?
himself had a voice, but like the actual real Michael Jackson had his own, like he was always in character, kind of sort of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. But yeah, that
you sound like Big Rames or somebody.
The whole transhuman, we'll get into that another OT, because there's some wild shit going on with that shit too. Transhumanism.
There we go.
What we got here?
Thank you. This means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much.
Thanks, nigga.
One thing in life humans understand. The truth of lust, woman to man.
Yes.
So open the door and you will see. There are no secrets. Make your move. Set me free.
He had a cold that night.
To the MTV Video Music Awards. I'm very happy to be here. And just think, nobody thought this would last.
That was a front.
You don't want to come here, not me. You wanted to come.
See, that's why I don't like going to eat with black people, because when the bill comes, they start tripping.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's why you pay.
I should like that shit. I mean, like that shit for.
Oh, I remember that.
Good dirt.
Too good, huh? Oh my God, Chris, that's it. That's the picture.
All right.
Yeah, get a nigga, man.
Excuse me.
Hey yo.
I got one last thing. Some rap shit.
What up?
Lighthouse needs to chime in on this. Y'all heard the new Pusha T and Jay-Z joint, right? We always talk about rap shit to finish up. I heard the Jay-Z and Pusha T joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jay in that joint said, they like, if Big was alive, Ho wouldn't be in this position. If Big had survived, y'all would have got the commission. So he would have been. I mean, like we kind of like always talk about this, you know, barbershop shit. Like, would Jay-Z be Jay-Z if Big was alive? Pretty much. Yes or no? I want to hear. But
yeah, that's not an easy one to just go with an answer. Would Jay-Z be Jay-Z now if Big was still alive?
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
That's kind of like also asking, would Drake be Drake if Wayne wasn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously, I feel, you know, Wayne is a better rapper than Drake, but Drake is still
a better brand.
Yeah, Drake is a better brand than Wayne,
right?
Tenfold, but he would never be the rapper that Lil Wayne is, and he was and to his own credit, he was able to branch off of that. He saw, and I think that Jay would have still did the same thing with Big. I think he would have been able to still find his niche exactly where he's at and be who he is because of his mindset.
Exactly.
I think Jay-Z's mindset is Jay-Z's mindset is Jay. Like what makes him him. You know what I'm saying? And I think he still would have had that same mindset even if Big was, because we're talking about a rapper versus the mindset. Jay-Z encapsulates a mindset. He's more of a mental figure. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, he plays on your mental more than Big. Big was more of an idol. I mean, an icon. Than Jay is more of like kind of like a mindset. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I can dig that.
You know,
but bottom line, I think Jay-Z still would, even if Big was still here. I think Jay-Z would still be where he's at, just based off of him making great business decisions and like shit and Big. How many times he was messing with Puff? We know all about all the 360 deals Buff done did with all these other artists out there. So you know what I'm saying. But I'm saying definitely. I mean, Big's probably the better artist. You know what I'm saying, lyrically or whatever. But I think Jay-Z definitely would have still gotten. I mean, if he's still doing the same shit that if Big was here and Jay-Z did the same stuff that he has already done, you know what I'm saying? I think he was still.
All right, but would he have that platform that he had? Because like rap is very like
competitive,
and also
he definitely would have had that platform.
But it's like also like geographically like dominant too. Like it's like
territory.
Yeah,
it's
like,
but they came up when New York was on. You know,
that's what I was getting to. Like it's always like that struggle for the king of New York. So it can't be two kings in New York.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's what this line in this verse is saying. Y'all would have got the commission.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay-Z is letting you know, nigga, I was going to elevate regardless. I was going to elevate past this rap shit. And
no. The commission was their rap group.
I know, but what I'm saying, it's a double entendre. I'm going to always be in that hustler mindset. I was going to always evolve because that's who I am. You see what I'm saying? Like that's That's Jay-Z in itself. Like Jay-Z was never going to be just a rapper.
All right, but at the same time, there's only one king of New York. So would Jay-Z be, because Jay-Z said it himself in the one joint. He's like, kidnapped.
King of New York is Tekashi.
No. All right, shut up. I'm trying to make a point. he said I kidnapped rap for like the last 7 summers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he after, you know what I mean, all that wild shit happened, he picked it up and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? So if Big was there was no throne for him to sit in.
I still
don't believe that, because Jay-Z was like, come on, man. He was making. I don't think it was any point where
at that point in time, it was never big as Big at that point in time. I was waiting to go ahead.
But he wasn't like no. I can't really point to besides Nas. You know what I'm saying? I can't really point to a time where he was not like fucking with other New York rappers. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't fucking with 50?
You talking about Jay-Z right now?
Yeah.
Well, 50 did that. That was on 50's accord. You know what I'm saying? He fucked that up. I mean, but he was out here. Jay-Z was out here.
It's always like there's always one guy. There's always like the spotlight is always on one guy. There's like never room for, the absolute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why not? Him and DMX was hot at the same time. Jay-Z and DMX was hot at the same time. We wouldn't have known who was going to be.
I don't think there was at that time when Jay-Z and DMX was on top. I don't think there was one guy that was like for real. I think Jay-Z might have been the one, because they was the one that had the Hard Knock Life tour that everybody else was on. They was headlining that shit. So for real, that might be the deciding factor right there, that Jay-Z was the part of the king in New York at that time. But one thing I do want to say, as far as like what Jay-Z came out 96, when did Biggie come out? Like 94, I think.
94, Ray does
right?
Like 94,
yeah, like 94. So I mean, Jay-Z, and when Jay-Z came out, I remember Jay-Z didn't really start getting popular till that Hard Knock Life song came out. And that's when everybody started fucking with that nigga. But when Hard Knock Life came out, that was in 97 or 98. So it was funny how I'm just looking at the trajectory. Like Biggie died in 97, Jay-Z came out with Hard Knock Life, and then he kind of like just took off. You know what I'm saying?
He said it himself.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it could have been, honestly, it could have been like rap, honestly, at that point in time had changed. There was like a shift in the type of rap.
What you mean? What era? Like, what you mean? Like, as far as between like who? Like Jay-Z? Are you talking about like Jay-Z and them, or like from like a Wu-Tang Clan to Jay-Z and some shit like that?
Like it was like like it was now more about like the club. It was like less messagey.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And you see what I'm saying? And it came more like glitz and glam and fashion and cars and
that was Jay-Z,
like
Jay-Z
exactly.
And Jay-Z and Puffy did that shit for real. Actually, if you really think about it,
Money in the thing.
Biggie might have been the first like flashy nigga in that era, because if you think about it, it was like back then it was like gritty niggas. It was like Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, fucking who else was out? I'm not Mobb Deep, MOP or whoever the fuck, all them groups and shit. And then you got now you got this fly like big ass nigga, like, you know what I'm saying, came up, but he was fly. He was talking about his clothes, he was talking about his designer shit. And that was what
my man driving backwards on the runway.
That was 95.
In the Bentley.
Yeah, so if you think about it, and Jay-Z kind of came out with that, but when Jay-Z first came out, Jay-Z was stunting too. When he first came out, he was too. So I mean, I guess that's the shit they was just trying to do at that time period when you think about it. But you're right though, Brian. The shit transitioned from like some gritty, like, you know, actually, if you think about
I'll rob your ass.
Biggie was rapping like that though. But his appearance, it was like he fly though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is kind of strange. Like Biggie was like the transition from like one to the other. That's kind of crazy.
Damn near mid album for real.
Yeah. Because remember, he was
from like Machine Gun Funk.
Y'all want to floss with us,
right? So like,
I remember.
Jay-Z had I remember back when Jay-Z had the I'm feeling the video. He on fucking boats and shit. He on yachts. Fucking Biggie had to join on yachts. But it was, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like that was a lifestyle they was trying to paint. And then it's funny how that shit evolved from that to like now you got like the trap nigga, like type of rapper, like what I'm saying, the T.I.s and the Jeezys and shit like that. So you got the Jay-Z type New York shit, then the South shit kind of kicked in after that. Cause you can even put Dipset in that same category, like the Fly niggas and all that type of shit. I started going to a whole nother tangent. But anyway, it's funny how like it transitioned, and then you got the fresh fly niggas from the South that be trapping, and then it's like a whole new energy. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like the same story. And that's why Jeezy and Jay-Z probably used to make like the best like collabs for real when they used to a lot of the tracks that Jay-Z and Jeezy used to do together.
Dope boys, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how that energy T.I. and Jay-Z tracks they used to do. Like it's funny how Jay-Z used to mesh with certain rappers and shit like that.
Kids, yeah.
Rick Ross, same you say Jay-Z and Rick Ross, you know what I'm saying? Same shit.
Hey, what if I don't know, but what if like some wild shit happened and it was just like, all right, Jay-Z, like Big was just like Jay-Z was just like a transformed Biggie Smalls. Like he was like if they were able to just like slide his mental into this nigga. I don't know. Because it seemed like they were like both kind of like one and the same a little bit. Like you said, like it happened like that.
This dude that the screenshots from, if y'all look him up on Twitter, like he got a real good thread on this. Like they was like closer than outside of rap, they was close as shit. Like Big wanted to move down to Atlanta and like relocate to Atlanta, and he wanted to bring Jay-Z with him and shit. So,
but I will say this: like after that, when I guess after Biggie passed, man, it was like a void. And nigga Jay-Z just came in and just slammed that, just dumped it. You know what I'm saying? That nigga 360 that bitch, like. Because I remember when Hard Knock Life came out, Jay-Z was like, it was like a movement. You could feel it. He was like, oh, this nigga got some momentum going. And then he just started, then he did the joint with Ja Rule, Can I Get a Joint? Then he came out with like all these singles and good videos and shit. So he had Money Ain't a Thing with
Mike Williams,
Jermaine Dupri and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he was just doing all the right fucking moves and shit at that time. But I got a bone to pick though with you, Randall, though, about that Jay-Z shit. That right? All right. So now you tried to say that Jay-Z's career was a little overrated because of who his producers was. Now I went back. I wasn't even listening to Jay-Z. I was listening to fucking Push. I was listening to your man Push. All his productions has been fucking Kanye West and fucking Pharrell. That's the greatest of all time. That nigga, all his productions is Pharrell and Kanye West. That's it. That's every
not all, but I agree.
Like 90% now, nigga. Like 90%.
I agree.
You can't take that away from Push though. You can't take that away from him though. I don't take that away from Push.
Yeah, but Push is not on the level as Jay-Z.
But I don't look at it the same way though. I think I like. So you basically saying because Push isn't as. So you're punishing Jay-Z for being the best.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. But that was the point that's the point I was making last time. I was like, I think it's like, what else is he supposed to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're gonna say Tom Brady because it took his Tom Brady and have Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take it away from him?
Yeah.
But Tom did it. He did it without him though. So I mean, you gotta give Tom that credit right there though. But I don't know. It's just crazy. It's like it just dawned on me. I was like, hold on. Like this is all Kanye and fucking Pharrell beats. Like that's all this shit is.
And some a little bit of Hit Boy, yeah. So, yeah.
1 minute. Well, before y'all try to close it out, I just wanted to give a RIP to Dwayne Haskins.
Oh yeah, for sure. Peace.
Yeah. For sure.
Too much potential gone too fast, too soon.
Which was wild.
Yeah. I ain't gonna go there. But...
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. I'll let other shows do that.
Yeah.
Out of respect, over here at overtime. Overtime 77.
OT.
Every Wednesday or Thursday on YouTube.
Kind of how we feeling.
Flight Room TV. Yeah. Send us your memes. Send us any conspiracies y'all into. Send us whatever. Anything we're wrong about. Would Jay-Z be who he is if Big was still here? We don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, send us all your input. And at the end of the day, Simo.
I have
Man.